Hello, in the last video we discussed till Government of India Act 1935. In this final video, we will discuss how the demand was raised for the Constituent Assembly. The same Constituent Assembly which was responsible to draft the Indian Constitution. The demand to have a Constituent Assembly was raised in May 1934 at the Swaraj Party Conference. Similar demand was raised in June 1934 in the Working Committee of the Congress to have a Constituent Assembly. In March 1942, a mission was sent to India headed by Stafford Crisp. Thus, this mission was known as Crisp Mission of 1942. Sir Stafford Crisp drafted a proposal making a resolution which laid down the composition of constitution making body. But it underlined that before the final constitution came into existence, the defense of the country would be in the hand of British government. This was rejected. There was disapproval regarding the composition of the constitution making body. There was a demand of freedom as the need was felt that defense should be in the hand of the people of India. In 1946, Cabinet Mission Plan came in existence. The main recommendations of this Cabinet missions were that there should be whole India Federation, including state and as well as provinces. Centre should have control over defense, communication and foreign affairs. There was a demand of Constituent Assembly once again. Another recommendation of this mission was that the province has the right to leave if they like so in the future. After the Cabinet Mission of 1946 came the Indian Independence Act of 1947. This act finally gave the independence to the country. But under this act, two dominions came into existence: India and Pakistan on 15th August 1947. The British government ceases to have jurisdiction in both the dominions. Under this act, the Governor General was to ensure the full operation of Indian Independence Act 1947. Under this act, there was a demand that there should be a separate Constituent Assembly for both the dominions. Finally, the Constituent Assembly was adopted. But before the Assembly was officially summoned on 20th November 1946, it appointed the body of experts to prepare proposals for the Assembly. The first resolution which was prepared was the objectives. On 13th December 1946, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru moved objective resolution. Objective resolution laid down broad principles which acted as the guiding light to draft Indian Constitution. This objective resolution was unanimously accepted on 22nd January 1947. Various committees were appointed by the Constituent Assembly to draft Indian Constitution. Some of the important committees are Drafting Committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Finance and Staff Committee by Rajendra Prasad, State Committee headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Minorities Subcommittee headed by H.C. Mukherjee, and Fundamental Rights headed by J.B. Kriplani. In July 1947, Business Committee headed by K. M. Munshi recommended that there should be a committee to scrutinize the draft constitution. Similar demand was raised on 29th August 1947 by Satya Narayan Sinha, wherein he moved a resolution to appoint 7-member committee to scrutinize the constitution and to suggest the changes in it. The draft constitution was introduced in the assembly in 7th session on 4th November 1948. After that, there was clause by clause interpretation consideration of the draft constitution. Amendments were moved, accepted, rejected, withdrawn. Finally, the preamble was the last to be discussed on 17th October 1949. The third reading of the draft constitution was initiated on 17th November 1949, which ended on 26th November 1949, wherein the constitution was adopted. Finally, the Constitution of India was adopted on 26th November 1949, but it came into force on 26th January 1950. But the question remains the same, whether the Indian Constitution drafted was successful, whether our founders' foresight was perfect. But the answer can be no, because there has been various examples in the past which led to amendment in the Indian Constitution under Article 368. For example, conflict between right to equality and special treatment to certain classes, unimagined emergency situations. Nevertheless, the Constitution has been successful. There are various instances giving example to that, like independence of judiciary. Finally, the federal court was the supreme court, and no more are judiciary come under the purview of Privy Council in England. Thank you. I hope this module was helpful in understanding the constitutional history, making of the Indian Constitution.